Welcome into the Cowboys Report. I am Tom Downey, and today's show is made possible by Roan. You can get 20% off by going over to roan.com/chatsports and using code chatsports. Before we get into some Rico Dowdle role conversation, some updates on DeMarvion Overshown, and a very stupid ESPN idea, we are in a sub-battle this week against the Browns. Now, Petey didn't want to work as hard. Petey's not here today for the Browns, so we get the early advantage over them. Let's crush them in the weekly sub battle. Hit that sub button for multiple Cowboys videos every single day. First up, I want to discuss the Rico Dowdle role. He is primed for a bigger role than what he had last season, and Mike McCarthy very much, he's not even hinted, outright stated as much. But I'm curious just how much more work he's going to get. First, here's what Big Mike said about Rico at a recent press conference. He's going to have opportunities. We tend to forget Rico's an excellent special teams player, too. He'll just have a lesser role in special teams just because of workload focus. But yes, he's a complete running back, plays all three downs. I think his pass protection from rookie year to now, it's become one of his best assets. Rico was a less impactful special teams player last year, despite being active and playing more games because he had a bigger role on the offense already. He played just 88 special team snaps last season. That was good for 22nd on the team. And he played just 10 total snaps after week 10. That's significant because I think Mike's commenting about a lesser role on special teams relative to last year, and not when he was a special team only player at the start of his career. I thought Rico Dowdle played pretty well last year. He had 89 carries, 361 yards, 17 catches, 144 yards. I do think he played pretty well in pass protection. By no means perfect, but I thought he was pretty solid, all things considered. The things I saw from Rico, I kind of thought he should have had a bigger workload at times down the stretch last season. But I liked what I was seeing out of him. I thought he did a pretty good job with his responsibilities. And I do think he's worth giving a bigger workload to this upcoming season. So, pinned comment, we'll go more in depth on this here in a moment. Is Rico Dowdle the best running back on the Dallas Cowboys? Y for yes, N for no at the pinned comment of today's video, especially if the ad comes here on YouTube. Now, I believe that Rico Dowdle is the best option of the current guys on the roster at running back. I don't know if the Cowboys feel the same, however, which we'll find out, I guess, come week one. I think also that's probably a conversation that front office is going to have pretty much after every single game. Ezekiel Elliott got paid more. Ezekiel Elliott has more, it's not political isn't the right term for it, but has more impact on this organization from what he's been in previous years with Dallas. He also didn't play at all in the preseason, which seems significant given the fact that, that's often how teams judge who's going to be a key part. The Cowboys had said previously they thought Zeke played great down the stretch, looked like his own old form. He did not. I don't want to hear it. He did not. He averaged under 3 yards per carry. And look, the Patriots' passing offense was bad. Zeke was truly one of the most involved options in the passing game because of how bad it was. Doesn't mean he was efficient. Doesn't mean he was good. I was very underwhelmed from what we saw out of Ezekiel Elliott down the stretch last year. He had a couple nice, flashy splash plays. The problem is, as you age, these splash plays tend to decline and not go back up. So, look, if you believe Zeke's going to have a big bounce back year and Tom's going to look stupid, great. I hope that ends up happening. But we don't have to say that he played great last year because he didn't. He didn't play well last year down the stretch. Once he was a starter, it was worse on offense. But maybe things return to form. More Cowboys conversation to come here on today's show. But first, today's show is made possible by Roan. I want to look good, feel good, talk good. Get it? That's actually not how you talk good. But Roan is a big factor in that. They have products for every occasion. Talking the most comfortable pants, dress shirts, quarter zips, polos, even blazers as well. They look good individually and, of course, work seamlessly together. They've got wrinkle release technology, odor-free technology, all to reduce the wears between washes and help make your life a little bit easier. The Commuter Collection can get you through any workday and right into whatever comes next. Head to roan.com/chatsports and use code chatsports to save 20% off your entire order. That's 20% off your entire order when you go to RHONE.com/chatsports and use code chatsports. Find your corner office comfort today with Roan. The link will be in the comment section and the description of today's show. Let's be nice to ESPN because we're about to be very mean to them here. But they listed DeMarvion Overshown as the Cowboys' top X factor for the 2024 NFL season, which I don't mind at all. Here's what Ben Solak, who now writes for ESPN, wrote on Overshown. He is Dallas's best bet at finding a true three-down linebacker on the roster. Better than Bell, who's going to play safety, Kendricks, or 2023 third-round selection, Maurice Leafau. Of the undersized options, he has the sideline-to-sideline range and violence into contact that will remain viable against the run. If he converts to promising preseasons into successful regular season play, he'll quickly become a playmaker that Zimmer deploys on his complex blitzes too. I don't have any complaints about that. Look, there are several different players you obviously could have went with there. I think Overshown is a pretty solid selection, though. I am excited for him in 2024. The Cowboys need somebody and probably some buddies to emerge at off-ball linebacker this year. Zimmer's going to use more of them. Now, Overshown has added some weight this past offseason. Seems like he hasn't lost any of the speed either. Had the hip pointer or hip flexor, hip pointer, whatever it was, that I think is in pretty decent shape. He was back out there at practice previously. We'll know more as we get into injury report season for the Dallas Cowboys. Damone Clark, Eric Kendricks, Maurice Leafau, I think all four guys are going to play. Buddy Johnson should play on special teams. Overshown is like, he was going to be your best first-year player last year had he not gotten hurt. Hopefully that continues into this upcoming season. Who is your biggest X factor then for the Cowboys in 2024? Overshown's a good answer. Lots of other ones. I think Rico Dowdle is probably actually a decent X factor answer there. So let me know in the comments section of today's show. Now we're going to be mean to ESPN. So ESPN's Mike Tannenbaum had some had some wild claims about the Cowboys' plans for next year that I want to get into. Here's what Mike said. Trade multiple first round. This is how they go get Shedeur Sanders, right? Trade multiple first round picks and maybe CeeDee Lamb. And then the other crew on first day was like, what are you talking about? He's like, if you're starting over, yes, CeeDee Lamb's expendable. And then they were like, no, what are you talking about? He's like, there's a better chance, in my opinion, that Shedeur Sanders could be the quarterback there next year than Dak Prescott at this point. First, I actually did catch this live because I took Olivia golfing and the clubhouse as we walked into it had first take on. So while we were getting set up, it was just, that was the part that was on, and then I walked away because I was really freaking stupid. Everyone else was mocking him, by the way, on the show. They're like, you're crazy. Like, they did not like that take at all. Jordan Lewis saw Get Up, or I guess it was Get Up, not First Take, tweeted out and said, I can't emphasize enough how much I can't stand you MFers. Spot the lie, as far as I'm concerned. Do you agree with Jordan Lewis pointing out that ESPN and Get Up is stupid? 1 for yes, 2 for no. Go ahead and sound off for me in the comments section of today's video, and then I'll break down why the whole thing is stupid. Jordan's right. This is what pisses me off a little bit too about like these big talk shows. We are in the middle of college football season. It has just started. The NFL season is actually less than a week away, and one of the premier ESPN shows is talking about the 2025 how does Shedeur Sanders get to Dallas. That's what we're talking about? Let's talk actual football. It truly was this, by the way. It was the Billy Madison, what you've said is the most insanely idiotic things I've ever heard, and at no point in your rambling incoherent response, blah, blah, I award you no points, may God have mercy on your soul. The whole thing was stupid. It's a very, like, how are you a former NFL GM, and that's your plan? Well, I guess that's why you're former. If Shedeur Sanders, the Colorado quarterback, is as good as we want him to be, as I think he can be, he checked off all the boxes against lesser competition, much more challenging games to come. You've got to move in the top 5, right? If he is a franchise QB with all the hype around him, he's going to be a top 5 pick, right? So you got to get in the top 5. your plan is to trade away CeeDee Lamb? You're going to pay $30.5 million to not have CeeDee Lamb in 2025, plus like whatever it is for Dak, $40 million. Maybe you post you in first and save it. You're going to pay $70+ million to not have your number one wide receiver, not have a QB. I guess you're going to trade for Shedeur, so it's fine. Multiple future first-round picks, and have no actual way to get a number one wide receiver so you can develop and grow your new franchise QB. Look, Mike Tannenbaum was a bad GM. I did that one on purpose, by the way. Same with the spelling there. This is how you become a former NFL GM. We're going to rebuild, go get a new QB, and have no playmakers for him. Come on. And that is now translated multiple times over to having stupid opinions. It's the same guy, I think it was Tannenbaum, pretty sure it was, who was like, Hendon Hooker should be a top 5 pick. And he's a backup in Detroit. And also acted like no one knew who he was, even though he was a Heisman contender the entire season. He's dumb. And frankly, just don't watch those shows. And my only suggestion for Jordan Lewis, next time screenshot it. Don't quote tweet it. Don't give them the views.